Hi, and welcome again to another edition of Market Analysis for today, May the 12th. I'm Giovanni Betancourt, analyst, trader, and educator with Vantage Markets. Well, before I get going, let me invite you to my upcoming webinar this May 17th, where I'll be talking about market breadth, the VIX, and short-term patterns. We'll be looking at the adage of sell in May and go away and see if that will be applying. So join me. I'll leave the link on my bio. All right, so let's take a look at what the market are looking to do today. So we are at the open. We have opened with a gap up on the Nasdaq that's being closed as we speak. The RSI is nearly getting closer to being in the overbought selection. So we most likely, if we do happen to continue to this rally to the upside, we will find some resistance around this level. There is one tool that you can use to determine if this rally that we've been seeing for the last few days in the Nasdaq will continue, and that's called the trend-based Fibonacci extension. We want to be able to analyze a previous move. All right, so we're seeing this move. All right, this right here is a consolidation stage. So we started that this whole move started from this low. So we're gonna grab this low, grab this high of yesterday, and that same range of yesterday to see if where will the tool show us those levels. The 0.38 is a Fibonacci number, the 0.50 is not, the 0.68 is the golden ratio. So if the market will continue to move to the upside, it should come around to this level, around this level. It is not a 100% guaranteed. So you could use that as your resistance levels, okay, and then the retracement tool as your support levels. So the 0.38 is where most likely the market will continue to move if it does move to that extension. So that's where I have basically my resistance. So we could do that. We could now that it's been closed, we could perhaps see that the market will continue to move to the upside. Then we have the S&P 500 that it did open with a strong gap up. It has been closed. Okay. Yesterday's I placed my levels, my support and my resistance within yesterday's range. Yesterday the market did fluctuate down lower to our support, and then it retraced rapidly back up, but it did close lower. So let's see if today will be a difference. Then the gap has been closed already, and see if we continue to push to the upside. 4,200 is that psychological uh, golden level to see if it will come back to it. The RSI is further away from being overbought, so that could be a scenario. Then we have the Dow, which it opened in the mid range of yesterday's range. It opened mid right and half of yesterday's range. So it is a gap up. That gap has been closed. Now we could probably contemplate an idea that the market will continue to move to the upside. So that has been calculated. Let's see if that's the case. Even though we have 90% already of the companies being reported in the season earnings, so it has been a better one than expected. So let's see if we today will close to the upside, or will the Dow, continue and retest this low of 33,200. Then we have crude oil. Crude oil could potentially do make a rally to the upside. Okay, I have $74 as my resistance around that level, 68 as my support. Then we have nat gas, which it is rallying to the upside. 220 is my resistance, 2.50 is my support. Then we have gold. Now, gold, there's a lot of jitter, there's a lot of conversation, there's a lot of noise happening in the United States about the debt ceiling of the States will the default, and that the deadline is June 1st. So it is rapidly approaching. There will be no meeting today in the White House. It has been postponed for next week. So let's see if they come to an agreement next week uh, for the United States to default on their debts. That would be catastrophic for the markets. Indices, everything will plunder, but gold will be one of those safe havens that people could do some hedging regarding volatility. So looking at gold, we saw that fluctuation to the downside yesterday, uh, but it rapidly uh, kind of recuperated from it. But let's see if today is a different scenario. It is pushing higher, so I have 2050 as my resistance. Then we have silver that is a bit different of a story. It has been not here to the downside. 2350 is my support. The other side is hovering around the oversold territory. Well, this gap has been closed already. We're open to the downside, so the gap being to the downside implies that the pressure to the downside will continue. Then we have copper. Copper open with a gap up. It hasn't been closed to the open. It is really just flattish right now. The RSI has rebounded from the oversold territory, but it first needs to be supposed to be closed. Uh, let's see if that will happen, or will it just stay in idle around, pivoting around the 375 area? I think that's the most likely scenario. Then we have here Bitcoin that also has opened with a gap down. Would that gap be closed and then continue is moving to the downside? The RSI is pointing lower, so let's see if that will be the case. As well as with the currencies, currencies are also has also opened up with the gap down. So let's see if that will be the case for it. The gap hasn't really been closed, so would it come back up and then do another version and test this low of 1.085? Let's see if that's the case. Most likely the dollar index, but the dollar index did have a nice rally yesterday. So the pound here is also a gap down. It has been closed. So would that movement to the downside continue? That will be fueled if the dollar index continues to is moved to the upside. It did open up with a gap up. So would that gap be closed and then find some support around the 101,800 level and then continue to is move to the upside? The RSI is further away from being overbought. So that right now, this movement, this gap up is the one that has most likely brought those gaps in the other markets. So let's see if those gaps will be closed and then where will we end in about a couple of hours. That should we should have more of a in an hour. We should have a better view of what the market will be doing today. That's it for me today. I want to invite you for my upcoming webinar next week. Again, it's going to be on breadth, the VIX, and short-term patterns. Okay, May 17th. I'll leave the link on the bio.